Well, let's speak to Vice Chair of the National Care Association. That's Joyce Pinfield. Joyce, very good morning to you. I think you were able to hear that report. What happened a year ago, and the emotions are still very raw from the staff there about those people who lost their lives. This is a story. You run a care home yourself. You'll know only too well.
Yes, good morning. It is absolutely heartbreaking what many care homes have been going through over the last period of the pandemic, and we still don't see any end to it. There may be even care homes who are going through something similar this Christmas, being absolutely frightened that the new variant will come into their facility. It really is a very difficult situation, and my heart goes absolutely out to all the care workers who have been working over the period of the pandemic, working tirelessly. And as you heard in that last clip, many of our National Care Association members, we are providers who even mortgage our own homes to make sure that we can still give a service to our local vulnerable residents within our care facilities. Our staff, as you can imagine, are absolutely worn out. We are really pressurised by the workforce shortage problems. And of course, on top of that now, we do have many workforce who are having to isolate due to having the new variant or indeed the other variants that there are of the Omicron and COVID. So that is putting added pressure onto many care facilities.
Joyce, can I ask you, in relation, I know you run a care home yourself, so can I ask you to give me a kind of snapshot of tomorrow, Christmas Day, and, how it works in practice, whether family can come in and, how that's going to operate?
Yes, well, Christmas Day tomorrow, unfortunately, I did have one positive case a little while ago. We're still awaiting PCR tests to make sure that we are out of that. We have to follow the guidance by public health in the different regions and go by their guidance as to when we open up to visiting and who we're isolating within care facilities. So unfortunately, at the beginning of December, I did have one case, and they have deemed that we have to wait for another PCR test. So at the moment, unfortunately, we hope we will get the results back today. But today we have been making up more areas within the care home so that people can come in to visit. However, the visiting will either be in a pod or behind screens. But we are trying to accommodate as many visits as we possibly can today. However, unfortunately, there will be no contact unless we get those PCR results back today. So it's a very difficult situation. Many care homes are also in the same situation that we are. We just wish that we could get back to normality where our care homes can have the singing, the dancing, the entertainers in for the pantomimes, the Christmas atmosphere that we used to have with lots of relatives coming in and indeed relatives going out to visit their own families. In many instances, some residents are going to visit their families, and I do urge all families who are having people from care homes to please follow the guidelines, which are please do a lateral flow test, order the family, get it registered with each care facility so that we can at least have some element of comfort that our residents are going to have a lovely day with their family, but they will be in a safe, secure situation. And so we are within the care facilities following all the latest guidance.
Joyce, I'm very mindful that probably a lot of other people who don't, frankly, pay enough attention to the well-being of people in care homes routinely across the year. A lot of people have been struck by the amazing level of care offered. And I mean that in the true sense of the word, by those staff whose job it is. And we saw in that film just a moment ago from Bristol, those people still raw from the emotions of what's happened to them, what they've had to live through, but intent upon trying to make the best of what is very difficult circumstances.
Oh, yes, the care staff have been going well above and beyond, trying to give a Christmas atmosphere, because it's not the same. We've even been having guidance on what Christmas decorations we can put up and how we have to deal with those. We have been very careful with our infection control measures just to try and keep our very vulnerable residents safe within care home facilities. So our staff are working at Force Church, and I would like to most definitely thank all of the care staff in health and social care who are working over this Christmas season. They are leaving their own families to come and look after our most precious, vulnerable people who are within care homes, and to try to give them some normality of Christmas, because after all, they are very ill and at this most difficult time of their year lives, and we do want to give them the best quality of life that we possibly can.
Joyce,
and that is what we are trying to achieve in my care home as well. So thank you to all health and care staff.
Well, absolutely. Joyce Penfield, thank you for your time this morning, and best wishes to you and your staff who are going to be working, as you say. Joyce is the Vice Chair of the National Care Association, and it is worth saying, you know, we all need to remind ourselves, we're talking about how families are sort of negotiating how it's working in practice. All those people are going to be working today, tomorrow, you know, Boxing Day, doing those jobs to try and give people who are in much more difficult circumstances something.
20 minutes to 8.